Good morning, folks. Welcome back. It's John Pettipas, second video today. As you can see, I just jumped out of the shower on this here one. Nova Scotia, my beloved province of Nova Scotia, homeschool children don't get a cent, not a nickel, not a cent from the Provincial Department of Education towards the cost of materials and assistance and other stuff related to educating their kids. And that's not right. There's many provinces in this country that give some funds towards the cost of materials for homeschool kids. There was a time that I didn't think much of homeschooling, but that my view on that has changed. Elder Stowe used to come in. He was a Mormon missionary. He was like Paul Pierce. He was the youngest son of 4 or 5 brothers. And he got a pretty rugged fellow, and he told us every week they'd send a letter in to the mission president, and he said he said a homeschool kid got no personality whatsoever. I was with the homeschool companion, was a homeschool kid, and he said, put in a letter to the mission president, said, if I stay this guy one more week, I'm gonna hit him. And he was a good guy, Elder Stowe. Anyway, and that has changed. I've known several homeschool families, and they're extraordinary kids. In the United States, since this biological germ warfare from communist China, when the stuff was being sent home and the kids were supposed to be learning online and so on, parents really woke up to what's being taught in the school. In the United States, America now, it's more than hundreds of thousands. There's probably in the 7 figures, which would be million-plus kids homeschooled. And they're not all in isolated areas. Alaska or very rural prairie, cattle country or something like that there, remote area, mine site or something. There's a lot of homeschool kids, and that's not for everybody. You've got to have generally speaking, a mother doing it, or a combination of mother and father. You've got to have a very organized mother in that house to homeschool kids. And I've known, it's interesting, most of the homeschool kids I know are from big families. And they turn out tremendously well. There is no question academically, almost always, homeschool kids are considerably above what's taught in the school. And man, oh man, I had good teachers in school. But nowadays, a lot of those teachers in school, they shouldn't be there. Remember Paul, not Paul Pierce, but Mr. Veach was a teacher in a high school, a fantastic teacher. And inflation was running high in the 70s. And then they put wage and price controls on. People didn't like hearing those words. Said, too bad we didn't get a raise before then, but that's how the cookie crumbles. And he accepted that. Nowadays, Steve McNeil, back in our premier, very successful 2-term premier Nova Scotia, in February of 2017, had told the teachers, look, we can only pay so much, and this is what you're getting. And we're not going to do hall monitoring, we're not going to do academics, extracurricular, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to digress here a second. Money has nothing to do with people's job satisfaction. Zilch. I've known people that made very little money in worldly goods, but loved what they're doing and enjoyed their life. And you can see right now, you can see it in doctors. All these friggin' doctors go to medical school. They want to be a specialist skin surgeon or specialist this or what do you call it, elective surgery, blah, blah, blah. And they take cosmetic surgery. They don't want to be a general practitioner. If I was practicing medicine, I'd want to be a general practitioner and deal with a variety of stuff, not looking at one particular item all day long. That's my opinion. But they take back to homeschooling. There's not a cent given to parents that are homeschooling their kids. And that's wrong. And here we are, noon hour now, the first day of August 2022, and the kids, I love school, but we look forward to summer break, and a little bit of ting. You didn't want to go right back to school. Like, we have weather's still nice. One more week of summer vacation, but such as came the day after Labor Day or whatever, and you're back to school. Okay, but some of these teachers we have nowadays, They won't come in for a home and school in the evening. It's got to be an afternoon, blah, blah, blah. Teachers like that. Look, if I was right now military strongman run this province, first move I do is I go after nurses, teachers, and doctors, 50% salary cut. Yes, you've heard right. John Pettipas run this province immediately. Teachers, doctors, nurses, 50% salary cut. Michelle Delore out of there. She's gone out of there. Thank God for blessings. The academic level and Annie-She's education school would show up much better with her out of there. Anyway, they take in, and there's lots of teachers. If they're there just for the money, they shouldn't be there. So anyway, sum this up. The parents that are homeschooling their kids deserve some sort of financial help with the cost of stuff. And they're taking a burden off the public education system and putting out damn good students. And so this is my, you got the terrible Timothy up there, and certain special interest groups he's all there for. Okay, certain special interest groups. I remember a gentleman years ago, their wonderful son has since died, and the father never cursed. And one evening he was driving me back home, and he said, you know, in the van, it was a van with a special lift. And the guy was a really smart guy, and he was in a wheelchair. And sad to say, in his late 20s, he died. And he was a wonderful guy, and the parents and his brother loved him dearly. We know that young man is in heaven. And father said, we didn't get a effing bit of help from the school board for bringing our son to the school. And nowadays, they have these special buses with special lifts. But this goes back about 30 years now, and they didn't have such things. But there's no reason why the province of Nova Scotia, the size of budgets and what teachers and other salaries and administrators are being paid, that's something. And I know of a lot of homeschool kids now, and they got personality, and they're very bright kids. Very bright kids. And since coronavirus, biological germ warfare from communist China, a lot of people seeing the crops taught in the school, teaching the kids at home. Something's got to be done in financial remuneration towards the teachers. I'm not talking a salary, but something to help with the cost of materials and program access and stuff like that. With that, I got to go. Spread the video far and wide. All the best. God bless. Thank you.